What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one breakdown what's going on with Tesla stock, what you should be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to talk about the overall market, what's happening with the news that dropped, and also what's going on with the headlines affecting Tesla. Before breaking things about what's going on with Tesla SPY and the QQQ, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so looking at Tesla's thing, once again, got a nice pump in the morning, pushing to about this 276 to 277 area. It came just short of my target of 278 to 280. And then after that, Tesla started to sell off a little bit more. And it was still looking relatively weak compared to the market because of some more negative headlines. But despite that, and despite other factors such as higher than expected dark pool volume, more shorting going on, and all these other factors, Tesla's still holding up pretty decently. It's not really doing horribly. It's not doing great either. It's kind of in the middle. And for now, there have been a lot of negative headlines that came out involving the NHTSA and other factors for Tesla. That's another reason why it was slowing down. But the market was holding up quite nicely after the CPI numbers came out, and we also have some Fed speakers coming out. I think at the time I'm recording this, Beige from the Fed is speaking. They basically stated that some districts are starting to show some slower price growth. We're starting to see some good signals out there, and overall, they mentioned that the jobs market is still a little bit too strong, but work is still making progress. That's what Beige just said very recently. For tomorrow, however, I want to add that we have the PPI reports coming out. The PPI is going to be coming out at about 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then we have initial jobless claims in the morning. So if you want to hold your options, your trades, or whatever it is that you're holding through all of this, that is your choice. I'm going to be holding shares, of course, through all of this. I'm a long-term Tesla investor, so I don't really care about short-term fluctuations like this for those shares. But for my options, I did secure profits already on a large bulk of them. Now, is that for everything? Not necessarily, but for the large majority of them, the answer is yes. Now, the reason for that is because the PPI is going to cause more volatility. This will likely be a pretty good number and help the markets out. But what is a little bit concerning would be the jobless claims report. The last time this came out, this did cause the market to slow down a bit because there's still some strength in the jobs markets. So you have to be very careful with this data dropping, the jobless claims. Be very, very careful. We remember what happened last time. So be careful with this. It's dropping before the market opens. And if you want to secure profits, it's your choice. If not, if you want to hold on to your options and your trades, it's up to you. I just want to provide you guys with a warning because tomorrow morning it's all dropping. Now, so far, the news is saying some good things about the market as the market's holding up. But for Tesla, it is getting some more manipulation. We're starting to see even higher than expected dark pool volume. Lots of off-lead exchange volume is being directed to the off-lead exchanges. And this is once again causing Tesla to slow down, at least to some degree, in my opinion. 67% of the volume went to the dark pools. That's once again another sign of manipulation. Other than that, however, we have other headlines playing a big role in why Tesla's slowing down. Tesla, once again, has another investigation that has been reopened by the NHTSA that just came out this morning. It's a very odd reason. There's a lot of arguments going on about something that we're not too sure about. The NHTSA has come out and said that they're going to continue investigating something going on because of a petition by a particular person that claims that new information about the inverter design due to recent teardowns has allowed for many other issues. They mentioned that there could be some potential design flaws in the Teslas. Something going wrong with the electrical currents, and they're mentioning that this could be leading to a voltage draw in the design and many things like this. There are also some talks about some issues with the accelerators, and just a whole lot is going on, but the NHTSA is not making any objective claims about this. They're simply just investigating the matter, and this is some negative news, if anything. This is very important to note, but so far nothing is confirmed about how Tesla is going to be doing because of it. And then this is still making all the headlines. I mentioned this in the morning. Tesla's basically warning us of reduced tax credits on its EVs for next year. And we're starting to see Tesla not really perform as well as it could have because of this news that keeps on dropping. These articles came out early in the morning, but many different news outlets are continuing to release them. They keep on talking about this. It keeps on coming out. This is leading to Tesla slowing down a bit. more negative news is playing a big role in why Tesla couldn't get the bigger pump we were hoping for. All right, so it is what it is. We can't always predict everything, but the thing is, Tesla's still holding up a lot better than before. At least Tesla's not red. It's actually up over 1% thanks to CPI and other factors, and it's still doing okay. It's not really the end of the world. So, what levels should we be watching for? Now, Tesla's very tight right now. We have some heavy resistance at 275. This is what stopped Tesla for the majority of the day. And support that's holding Tesla up is very close to about this 272 area, between 271.5 to 272, the entire zone, but more towards 272. Tesla's been stuck between 272 to 275 for almost the entire day, going back and forth and back and forth. We did get one pop in the morning, like I was talking about, one little pop in the morning to about 276 before it came down. But besides that, it's basically stuck, and I expect it to be stuck like this as time goes on. Now, for the majority of the market trading hours, the market has been kind of like pumping a little bit and holding up quite nicely. But here's the thing worth noting: things could change during the last hour of the day. So if the market is kind of like sideways, we could get one last pump at the end. That's a real possibility. And if that does happen, we could see Tesla try to push back up to like 275. Not a guarantee though. I still think it's just going to be stuck in this range, kind of boring for the time being. And just remember these levels very carefully. If Tesla breaks below 271.5 to 272, if it breaks below this range in a strong manner, we're going to see Tesla sink all the way down to about this 270 support, then potentially 268. I don't think it's going to drop that hard. I think it's just going to be stuck as the day goes on. If Tesla could manage to break above 275, it has a better chance of doing that, in my opinion, seeing the fact that it's green and the volume is, it's a little bit better than yesterday, but it's still not the best. But if it breaks and holds above 275, it has potential to push all the way up to about this 276.5 area, maybe today or going into like tomorrow or something like that. But for now, here's what I'm looking for at Tesla. It's just to be stuck between this 275 to 272 zone, going back and forth and back and forth. But there is a potential like inverse head and shoulders that could be forming. So maybe it kind of like tips a little bit more than tries to push up at the very end of the day. So there's one possibility of that. But besides that, I don't expect it to be super exciting. It's just a small move by a couple of dollars. For SPY, however, it's holding up quite nicely. If you look at SPY, we got this very nice pump almost exactly where our resistance happens to be at 447.5. After this rejection, came all the way down to our next support at 445 down here, almost exactly. Then it started to pump just a little bit. It actually held above the 5-minute 50 EMA in a pretty nice manner, showing some strength. And now it's trying to push up and get very close to this resistance, close to 447. However, it needs to hold above this resistance zone between 446.25 to 446.4. This entire zone right here has some resistance. It needs to continue to hold above it for it to remain stronger. We're still waiting for more confirmation on the 30 minutes time frame. But for now, it's looking strong, and it looks like this thing may kind of remain sideways for a while and start pushing up nicely at the end of the day. The odds do favor that, but just to be safe, be open-minded and watch these support levels very carefully. Watch support at 446.25, 446, and then 445 below that. Watch resistance very, very close to this like 446.4 zone, approaching 447.12, 447.5. And then if it gets above 447.5, we're going to see this thing pushing into the 448s. 448.75 is going to be one particular zone where resistance is going to be a little bit stronger because historically that's where it has gotten rejected. So watch these levels very carefully. I think the odds favor it kind of like hovering a bit around this level and then maybe pushing at the last minute. At the very, very end, I mean, like the last 30 minutes or so, getting a nice push up. And overall, it's looking pretty nice. It's holding up quite well. Apple's at 190, holding up quite nicely too. Very, very nice trend on it. Let's see this thing try to continue to hold up. If we could hold above this 190 resistance, you're going to be watching 191 exactly. That's where we got rejected today. And if it manages to break above that, 191.7 could come. If it breaks down, watch 190 as support, 189.69, 189 flat, and then 188.5, which is exactly where it bounced today. Once again, watch these levels carefully. I think the odds do favor a potential inverse head and shoulder structure and Apple trying to push up even more. But just to be safe, be very patient and see if this thing could try to get above 191. For the triple Q, this thing is starting to show some strength. We have a very, very nice accumulation structure. Once again, it started to pump quite nicely. Got rejected off this 374 resistance before it came all the way back down to about 370. So far, tech is looking a little bit weaker than many other sectors. It's a little bit weaker compared to like what we're seeing on SPY. Just looking at like this drop, how much it dropped, it's like a lot more volatile. But the thing is, it's still holding up nicely, right? It's not, it's not looking like insanely strong, but it's still holding up quite nicely. And now it's just a matter of can we hold above 372.8. Now we're in the 373s, which is a good sign. If it keeps breaking out, if it breaks this resistance at like 373.4, the zone right here, I'm going to be watching it push for 374.15. If it breaks that, we're going to see this thing fly to 375. If it breaks down, you're going to be watching support at 372.5, 372.32, and then below that, we're going to be watching for like 370. A big drop to about 370 if it does end up failing us. There's some support around this like 371.4 zone as well. So, we have quite a bit of support to hold this thing up. But what do I think is more likely to happen? Just like SPY, I think it's just going to hover around a bit and not really do too much for the next, maybe like 30 minutes or so. And then eventually we might get one more push up during power hour. I think the odds favor that. The market is very excited about these CPI numbers. That's where I'm leaning towards, but just to be safe, always be open-minded and watch for support and resistance. All right, guys, so thank you all so much for listening. One last reminder, okay? We have PPI and all this data dropping tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens. Before the market opens, the data is dropping. If you want to hold your options, it's up to you. If you want to exit them and secure profits for safety, that's also up to you. PPI is quite significant, not as huge as CPI, but it is worth mentioning because it will affect how the market moves. Make sure you're ready for it. All right, thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video. Tesla the market to the moon. The long term is still very bright. And peace out.